Thank you very much, Sean. My name's Tom. I'm creative director at Monte Rosa. We're a London-based creative technology company, which most of you have never heard of, but I'll tell you a little bit about us in a minute. But before I do it, I just wanted to see a show of hands. Who's got Twitter here that could tweet right now if we wanted to? All right, that's great, brilliant. Okay, so you don't need, I don't need to give you my phone number. I just want to play a little game just to try and illustrate a point. We've got, I think, 45 minutes, although I haven't got anything like 45 minutes worth of stuff to talk about. That's a tip. But I just want you to have a bash at guessing how long my talk's going to be. It's just a game I pinched from a wedding I went to recently where we all put money in and bet on the best man speech. So if you've got Twitter and you can tweet now, then do that. Predict and stick your, oh sorry about the box in the wrong place. Have a go at betting the time. So that's like 10 minutes, 2 seconds, 0.1. And I'll time it here. And I'm the judge, basically. And what I'm going to do is give you some money out of my own pocket, which I've brought with me. This is why I was late, Sean, sorry. I had to go to the cash machine. You're not having all of it, but I've got 50 quid there, which you can have. Somebody can have, oh, hang on. Oh, there's 2 very used fivers for you. So whoever gets closest, you've got a couple of minutes to put your time in. As long as you don't put it in like at the end, then it's okay. Have a crack at it. I shouldn't think it'll be anything like 45 minutes. So okay, I'm going to start now. I'm going to leave my phone going there. There you go. I've started. Okay, so the title of my talk includes the term second screen, which most of you probably have come across, but some people just look at me blankly when we talk about it. So very briefly, the second screen is very often the laptop in the living room. We're seeing more and more people, as many people have talked about today, consuming media simultaneously. And the bit that we're interested in is where people are online, whether it's their laptop, their mobile, or whatever, whilst they're watching TV. So that's what we mean by the second screen. And we're seeing increasing numbers of people doing this as time goes on. That's supposed to be Susan Boyle in the middle, in case you wonder. It's a really nice little picture there. Okay, so the background on me and my company. This was our first ever project, which is about 7 years ago now, and it's a show which is no longer on television, but it was a big BBC quiz show called Test the Nation. And I worked briefly at the BBC on an R&D project, and I met another guy. We left just about at the same time, and we pitched for this job, effectively. So our job was to create the technology and the game that ran alongside this show, which had already had one episode, Test the Nation. It was an IQ test. It had been a huge TV hit, and they pushed everyone online to go and play this game to test their IQ, and the thing completely fell apart. It was a total disaster online. It just didn't work. So they put this job up for somebody who thought they could handle the massive load that was going to occur when everyone rushed off into their back bedrooms, as it was then, dialed up and played this little flash IQ test. And we thought we could do it. We thought we had a technical way of handling these numbers in a sort of distributed way. So that's what we did. So we got the job and we did this project for about 3 years. It kept us really, really busy. And we learned an awful lot about how to sort of integrate real-time information back into a TV show. We worked in the gallery. It was all very exciting. We were feeding stats back, and we were talking to Anne Robinson in her ear. And it was a real baptism of fire. We learned about live TV, we learned about production, and we learned about how to handle massive numbers online. Even in those days, we were seeing like 250,000 people doing a test over the whole evening or something like that, and then over the week would be in the millions. So it was a real hit for the BBC, and it excited us, and we thought, wow, isn't everything going to be like this in the future? And we still think that, but it never really happened, and it was a bit disappointing. We sort of had this grand vision that all TV would be socially involving, and really, it never really got there. Really, because it was difficult to create these ideas. The people who were creating them on the TV side didn't really like people like us. We were just a bit of a pain. They brought us in at the end to fix it and make it all work. And so that opportunity didn't really happen, but things gradually have changed for the better. And we built a business making sort of multiplayer, real-time quiz games, effectively, and casual games linked to broadcast. And we managed to eventually, last year, persuade the BBC to let us, and Fremantle, to let us do this, which was a sort of notion that we've been talking to them about for a while, where you could play along with a show like The Apprentice. So this game is called The Apprentice Predictor, and it's really simple. We just started by thinking, a little bit like what Jerry was saying, how could we create something that's really symbiotic with the show? What's everyone who's watching The Apprentice thinking about? What is that one really simple thing? And of course it's who's going to get fired. So this game is the simplest game on earth. All you have to do is pick who you think is going to get booted out at the end of the show. And the longer that you hold on to that person, the more points you get. And you can change your mind, but then you're not accruing points for that person. So what we did was we aggregated all these results, and you could see the graph move in real time, and it was quite exciting to feel as though you were sort of part of something alongside the show. And at the end, you got the points that you had been accruing during the show. It was primarily intended for people who were watching TV, but we added a simulcast there as an option. It wasn't that popular. And then we added this sort of real-time chat function in the top right there, which actually proved to be just as entertaining as the rest of it. But the game is the thing that you sort of hang your hook on, and it's all, the promo is all about playing the game. But that was a really interesting lesson. Numbers were, I mean, they're not massive by sort of internet standards. We're talking about 30,000 people playing at once. It's quite a small conversion rate, but actually a lot of people to handle at one time. And it was considered a really big success. But for us, it was really about inspiring ourselves and inspiring the content creation community, the TV production business, to do more exciting things. And that sort of segues neatly on from what Jerry was talking about, really trying to get to the heart of a format. We found it much easier to have those discussions after TV people have seen something like this happen. So the next thing that I'm going to show you is it's a promo, it's a TV trailer for another show that we did after The Apprentice Predictor called 4 Weddings on Living TV. 4 Weddings, I don't know, I'm kind of guessing nobody's seen it. Has anyone seen it? 4 Weddings? You have, all right. Well done for admitting it. Under duress, right? 4 Weddings is a fantastic show. My favourite, actually, my favourite TV show. It's about 4 couples, 4 brides really, all of who are about to get married. They're competing for a big holiday in Barbados, and it's almost exactly the same as Come Dine With Me, made by the same people. They have to go and rate each other's weddings, which is, so you haven't seen this, you really need to go and have a look at it. It's, yeah, it evokes all sorts of different emotions. So these brides go and rate each other on all sorts of things like dress, atmosphere, food, blah, blah, blah. It's great. They've sold it across the world now. It's been a real hit. But they needed something to differentiate it, and they needed the word to get out quicker about it. So Living came to us and said, we kind of like that predictor thing. Can we do something a bit like that? So we created something really, really simple. Again, we just looked at the show. We tried to create something that was exactly symbiotic, exactly sort of matching the thoughts and the things that were going on in people's minds whilst they're watching 4 Weddings. So it's a very simple rating game. But what I liked most about it was that Living TV, a really flexible digital channel, everyone got behind it. They made a great promo. They got the continuity guy behind it. So he sits there in his VO booth, and he actually had the computer open with this thing whilst he was announcing stuff in the commercial break. So he could talk about the funniest comment, or he could talk about, wow, hey, the people completely disagree with this bride on that subject. So it created a sort of sense of event, even though only a small percentage of people were actually playing it. So I'll show you this this trailer so you can get a sense of what I'm talking about.
A perfect wedding. Well, now's your chance to test your wedding skills and have your say online. Each week during 4 weddings, log on to play along at home. Score each wedding by voting on the venue, the dress, the food, the overall presentation. Share your views on our live forum, and at the end of the show, compare your score with our brides to see if you got what it takes to spot the perfect wedding. So log on Monday at 8:45 at livingtv.co.uk.
So that was another example, and we've done other things, like we actually did Come Dine With Me for a sort of pilot season. We did America's Next Top Model and a bunch of other similar things based on the same concept. all to varying degrees of success. 4 Weddings actually did really well, and I'll show you some of the stats from them later. A project that we're working very hard on at the moment is ITV Live, which is ITV's dual screen platform. It's a really bold initiative by ITV to create a consistent platform for dual screen social involvement with TV shows. And it made its first outing with the World Cup. And I read today in New Media Age that we're doing it for X Factor as well. So yeah, we're working on it for X Factor, and it'll launch in the middle of the audition phases. And then there's a second version of it, which is much more socially involving, which launches for the live final stages of the show. So that's quite a big move by a broadcaster to get involved in this space. And from ITV's perspective, they see a big commercial opportunity in it as well. There's the thing that I just read while I was in the lobby here and put it in. So I had 2 other examples of things to look at if you're interested in this stuff. And one of them has just been talked about actually. So the Sky Player and Xbox Live, this sort of co-viewing party app, which I've not actually played myself, but I've seen the demos of it and think it looks fantastic. It's been quite inspirational really. And above that, MTV's Back Channel app, which is one of the earliest instances of this sort of co-viewing thing. It's a game based on, there's a room of people, you get a couple of minutes in the hot seat, you can type some stuff about the hills and you get rated by the rest of the room and you get points thrown at you by them. So it's a sort of competitive discussion app, really cool and quite inspirational. So the show that I'm going to talk about now is £1 Million Drop. It's a game show. Sorry, my remote isn't working very well. It's a game show that that is was on Channel 4 in May, and we worked with McDonnell, the producer, and Channel 4 to create the social play-along element of £1 Million Drop. It's a really good show. It's like, I don't know if you saw it, seen it. Who's seen it? Yeah, a few. Oh, quite a lot of people. It's like for those who haven't, it's like Millionaire in reverse. You get £1 million, and it's in cash, and you've got to try and keep hold of it rather than earn it. And how it works is that you sort of take your cash and put it over one of these 4 trapdoors and hedge your bets based on which of those options you think it might be right. And of course, if you put £500,000 on B and it turns out not to be B, then B opens and you lose £500,000. It's really horrible, but a great show and did really well. But the thing about it is, it's live. It was a live game show, and so what we wanted to do was create this sort of national feeling of involvement with the show and take it sort of outside of the confines of this rectangle in the living room and make it something that people talked about a lot more than they would. So we thought the best way to do that is to let people experience what those 2 contestants were experiencing, let them sort of pretend that they were there. Because again, that's the thing we thought most of the audience are going to be saying to themselves, bloody hell, if I was on stage, I never would have said that, or that sort of thing. So we try and think through the minds of the audience. So I'll show you a tiny bit of Davina calling people to action, so you can get a sense of what I'm talking about. And then a little screen grab of the game itself, which is very simple.
Can you beat them, do you reckon? Well, you can actually. You can try anyway and play along online with every single question on tonight's show, channel4.com/drop. You know what? Last night, over 76,000 of you were playing at home.